welcome back to the show, Mastering Real Estate Secrets from Top Agents. And today we have one of our very top agents in San Francisco, Isabelle Grotte. She's a friend, a colleague, and I'm honored to have you here today. She's one of the very best that we have in San Francisco, as I mentioned, in the top 10 out of 5,000 realtors in San Francisco, which is quite a feat. And I have some numbers that I can run by you. Let me see if I can remember them all, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. And so we've got 100 and what was your volume last year?
164.
164. I had my other numbers in the head, and we just went through these numbers. They're phenomenal. Really never done anything like that myself, and I don't know too many people who do. There's about 10 of you, maybe 5, but you're really up there in the top. And about 80 million in working with buyers. And so it was quite phenomenal. We had 87 transactions.
Total, yes.
Total transactions. By yourself, or do you have a team? I must have 20 people.
I have a team. I do the bulk of the production, but I could not do what I do without my team.
How many people are on you?
I had last year 2 to 3 licensed agents, and I have a really strong back end with my transaction coordinator who's been with me for 12 years, our operation coordinator who is based out of the Philippines, Sean, and also the marketing team.
Nice.
So we're really, I think that they're instrumental when it comes to preparing listing and really get the word out.
Did you really do the work?
But on the buy side, it's different because when buyers hire you, they want you.
So I remember we did one transaction together, and you represented the buyers on that. Yes. And they wanted you. I remember very clearly when they chose you. It was really very sweet. So tell me, it's interesting that you have, this team, because really it sounds like you're doing the work. So you've got 2 agents, and then you have, as most people don't know what a transaction coordinator is, probably, but basically they handle paperwork.
They handle paperwork because when you have 87 transactions, we're talking millions of pages. Stay on top of the escrow process, making sure timelines are met. So I think a good TC makes a world of a difference.
Yeah. And so interesting, you said that your operations person is in the Philippines. A lot of us are doing that now. Tell me a little bit about that. How is that?
Sean has been on the team for 3 years, and it's been a big change because, well, first, we're very lucky that he works US hours. Of course, so we have both half of the time. And the way it started is during the pandemic, I used to have a director of operation in-house within my team. And when the market slowed down, we had to restructure how things were done. And an agent in my office said, "Hey, I'm working with this VA, but I don't have enough work to keep him busy. At free time, would you be interested, since you're going for a transition, to maybe using like half of the time?" And it's worked very, very well. Yeah.
And what does he do for you?
He does a lot on the listing side. He's going to do all the scheduling, like, for example, with inspectors, with stagers. He gets a staging proposal. He does invoicing. We do a lot of prep work on our listing, a lot of construction, so you have a lot of billing. And billing is tedious. Yeah, you got to keep reminding.
So you do your own construction for your clients, or you farm it out?
We try not to cross a line between cosmetic and acting as a GC without a license, right? So we really, but at the same time, we don't want our clients to leave money on the table. So there are some low-hanging fruit, like replacing like hardwood floors, painting, landscaping, like light fixtures, all this kind of thing. Of course, we will cover it.
And you have mentors, and it's like that. So I'm curious, this is a question that I'm always so interested in, is out of 5,000 realtors in San Francisco, and I know the numbers, I've been on the board for many years, what do you think sets you apart to get into the top 10?
I think when I look at other top producers in the city, the one thing we have in common is we're not left or right brain people, we're both.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
So it's adding the eye for what is presentation, what is marketing, what is a good product, what is satisfactory to put on the market to get the highest price, but at the same time be also a numbers person where you can crunch numbers, work with investors, and really negotiate. And I think that often what we see with agents is maybe they have the design eye, but they don't have that other more business minded aspect. So that would be one. Number two is in this business, you get out what you put in. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, it's not been easy. I mean, I started on my own. I never joined a team. I've never worked for other people, so I don't know how the business is done. Which so it's a lot of trial and I didn't. It's a lot of trial and error. Like I like to joke that I would write the playbook, and when I'm ready to retire, everything I done wrong, and I would not do again. That's one of my great criticisms here. Um, but I think that's a hard work, and really, it's like loving the industry, loving the business, and being really excited about it, and surrounding yourself with the right people. People who bring your energy level up, and you're excited every day to go to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have like a set schedule every day? Do you have follow routines and habits that you do that you would never stray from? Are you one of those people?
Not really. I mean, I live in my calendar because the days are long, and if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. I really stick to my workout schedule. Like this is, I mean, the level of stress in this business will eat you alive. It's true. I mean, you carry the stress of your buyers, of your sellers, like people, and people are very aggressive. Like it's a different time. I think things have changed a little bit, and you gotta flush it out.
Yeah, I think that's true this year in particular. So I noticed on your numbers last year that like most of us, it was really quiet throughout the year, and then all of a sudden that last quarter, you're just saying, man, boy, you just really cranking them, cranking them. Tell me about that. How does that affect you emotionally? Because I think that's important. Like for people to understand, like we're in the doldrums and we have these lulls. How does that feel? And then all of a sudden you're busy again. Let's talk about
I think that is a whole how to manage a business, because how many realtors have I talked to who are extremely successful, who are top producers, and who start the year slow and say, "Oh my God, I'm never going to sell something again." We also, we would say that. We always say that. And I think that the day I finally graduated in January, and my husband used to tell me, he's like, "Oh my God, you stopped playing your sad January record." So I think that I had a really big Q4 because I had 3 transactions above 10 million close. And the big ones are not necessarily the hardest one. I mean, it's that little $500,000 studio that will make your life miserable. Oh, that's I mean, not without doing some,
just often they can be a lot of work because those kind of clients are not as sophisticated as a $10 million buyer, right?
So I think that made things a little easier, but finishing the year definitely very strong. Yeah, time.
And I mean, I saw that the market did pick up over in 2025 last quarter, and now January, 2026 is really going very strong. Is that your experience?
I think December really ended on a high note and just followed through.
Do you think it's interest rates or, just a lack of people being tired of waiting?
I think you have a little bit of that. I think that sometimes we forget the cyclic aspect of moves. I mean, the pandemic precipitated a lot of moves. We felt like we had years of transaction compressed into, 48 months. So after that, like there was a little bit of and then the rates went up. So it was
Yeah, there was a lot of
it's like everybody was like, "Oh my God, I'm never going to sell something again. Nobody's going to want to buy anything."
That's right.
But then you reach your point where, like, okay, sellers have been complaining about rates, but now you can get rates in the 5, maybe in the 4 with relationship pricing. And then it's like, just can't keep putting your life on hold.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You need a bigger place. You need a bigger place. Maybe you're going to wait a year, 2 years. But after a while, and I think that's who we have cited. We have also the press, and maybe our current mayor is doing a really good job.
I think so.
For the for San Francisco as a city. The doom loop is behind us, so I feel it's kind of like a lot of events.
The world is just shifting and we're moving back into ash, which is nice. Yeah. It was a dull. What do you do when you're in the lull? Do you get down? How do you keep yourself positive?
Uh, I I actually embrace it because the thing is I do this because I really enjoy it. I don't need to make a certain number or certain quota. Of course, I mean, you don't want to run a business at a loss, but it's like, hey, you know what? Get to have time. If I look at the last 2 weeks, when you're working 12 plus hours a day, 7 days a week, it's not fun. No, it is not. It's exhausting, and it's like you're running a marathon, but you're sprinting, and you can only do this for so long. So I've always had, I work from January to June. I take July off. August to November, I take December off. Yeah, so that's me.
Very smart.
And when you're in a lull, I mean, it's
It's a gift.
again as a gift.
That's lovely.
You know, it's a little bit like when people get fired, you lose your job, you're unemployed. It's like I always say, how many times in your life are you going to be unemployed? Yeah. You know, of course, do your jumpsuit, don't enjoy it. Yeah. See your friend, start an activity, like do something. Yeah.
It's very, very good. So let's talk a little bit about marketing and leads and all that. So where do you get all this business? 87 transactions, no small feat. Where does your business come from? And so we generated.
A big chunk of my business is referral and repeat. So I really stay in close contact with my
So you've been in the business 15 years?
15 years, 15, 16 years, yeah. So I stay in touch with past clients. Because most of them I'm very happy to stay in touch. Like I don't do it as a duty, but because I care.
Like them too.
So I have that. I do not buy leads. I don't do video. I would be so happy if social media disappeared.
Yeah, no. But it's getting really bad. So,
Oh my God, it's different. I applaud some of my colleagues who spend so much time and energy in it. Like I would do minimum on that. And I come from the marketing world.
yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him on social media. Do you have an account?
Yeah. I think I've ever seen it. Spanish by other people. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't. I think it's a very skewed version of reality that you give the world. And it's like,
So do you think to follow up, your business referral is 100% referral or
no, it's not. I do some farming. So I'm kind of old school,
traditional, like
the good old school, like
I like that.
But I started a long time ago, and you have to be really committed,
Consistent.
and consistent. So when I hear them say, "I'm going to send a postcard," I'm like, "Save your money. You don't send one. You gotta, yeah." So I think that with marketing, whatever you do, you really need to give it 200%. Otherwise, just don't bother.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do a little farming and then you do open houses. Do you get out underneath the lines of open houses? I bet people want to work with you when they hear that.
I love open house. What I don't like about open house is that why does it have to be Sunday afternoon?
Because that's when the buyers are off work.
Yeah, but we could have changed that during the pandemic.
I know we've had opportunities where we keep missing.
Keep says that and dropping off signs. I hate dropping that B phrase.
Yeah, and you don't have somebody run around with you because you do your open houses alone, probably. Then.
By the times that you explain where to put the sign and this and that, and it's like, yeah, might as well be.
You mentioned negotiations, and it's a strong suit for you. What are some of the tactics that you like to use that you think you use consistently? You would say that I use over and over that I know these are my strengths.
I think my strength as an agent is I don't shy away from the hard conversation. A lot of it in our business is you gotta go for it. You gotta you have to go to the places, sell the truth. You have to tell the truth. You have to. I think in negotiation, there is also often just ask for what you want. You know, I find that it's very strange, like how agents are very cagey. They don't say, "Oh, we have offers, we can say." So give me a number. If you write on one of my listing, most of the time, I cannot say 100% of the time, but 95% of the time, I will give people a ranking and say, "Hey, this is where you are. If you want it, this is where you need to." So I think that being transparent and respectful to the other people, sitting across the table does go a long way.
That's nice.
And it's also more pleasant because some people will come up and others people say thank you for the opportunity, but no.
And then you're not wasting any more time. You're getting right to the point. And so do you prefer to talk to people on the, I'm curious, this is very curious, phone, text, or email? What is your preference?
Depend on the client.
But other agents, communicating with other agents?
I spend a lot of time on my phone. I think like all of us in the business. Phone is nice. I mean, usually if it takes me more than 2 sentences to say something, I will go from text to phone.
Yeah, right. Good answer. Yeah, I think so many younger agents, and I do this for training a lot of young agents, so thank you for sitting here and sharing all your expertise, is that they don't know how to use the phone anymore. They text, and then I find, that there's so much lost in translation on these text messages. Pick it up.
And the thing is also, I mean, we're in California, like, people are lawsuit ready.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that for me as a realtor, the most scary sentence that I've heard clients say is, I don't recall having this conversation. And because it's like, okay, well,
Follow up with
follow up, everything pairing, put it in writing.
yeah. So you seem to know your numbers pretty well. You got your finger on that. So I apologize in the beginning because I had numbers from a program we use that is not accurate. So you corrected me. So we threw that out and we started over. But do you know your fallout ratio?
No idea.
No idea.
No, I don't even know how.
Do you know what it is? The fallout? How many? I mean, so
How many fall out of contract?
how many fall out of contract?
Oh, that's like that must be below 5%.
Good for you. Not typically. It's like 14% for most people.
No.
I know. I love that. I love that. You want to keep them in. So what happens when things start falling apart?
Well, which side are you on, the buyer or the seller?
Doesn't matter because they fall
I
out.
don't think, things fall out, and I think is like how do we move forward so it's not a traumatic event that changes the mindset of the client.
Good.
Like for example, I wrote an offer last night. There were 6 offers on the property. We received a counter on terms, which was not on price. It was actually a really good counter.
Right.
And we had a conversation with the buyer and say, "Oh, I'm going to talk to my wife." And the counter was rescinded 45 minutes later because someone came and said, "Oh, I'm not going to move faster." Those need them quick. It's like, okay, what are our takeaway here? Like, what would we do different? What does it tell us about the market? Let's not go into blame and finger pointing and regrets. Yeah, I wasn't meant to be it. It wasn't meant to be. So I think that sometimes we are here to assist people through the far process, so they don't also get stuck. Because it's easy to get into that. Hey, like, what's she? Why did they do that? Like the victim game.
Right. Oh, that's the old stick. We don't want to get in there. So another question that I have for you. So how do you think you consistently win listing presentations in this competitive market, but also let's say you're going up against, another top producer. I'm not going to name names. I have 4 of them in my head already, but I'm not going to name you. What do you think? What's the difference?
I usually, like for big listing, I tell the seller, I say, you're smart people. You're smart, sophisticated people. Everybody you're talking to is qualified. There is no secret sauce. I don't have this magic stick that I put out of my closet and everything changes. We pretty much use all the same marketing tools, The question is, who do you want to talk to every day?
That's right.
That's it. You want to talk to me? Do you want to the
Brands? Yeah, that's right. And then, so pricing strategy. How do you, like now we're seeing the past 2, 3 weeks, I mean, multiple offers, right? So let's talk about that because we're in 2026. I would say that for the historical layer on this, because somebody might say, I don't have that experience, but it's 2026 and we came out of the gate, 10, 12. You said 6 offers last night on our listing, that's pretty well compared to what we're seeing right now. What do you think about, like, how do you know how to price things in this market?
I think, I mean, you don't price in a vacuum. So yeah, if we take neighborhoods where I haven't usually list a lot like Noe or Bruno, like you really have to understand what the pricing strategy is in that neighborhood specifically. Uh, Underpricing in this neighborhood is normal, but there are some limits. And I think that also as an agent, I don't want 25 offers.
No,
No,
gosh, I know. So
and then you got like 20 landlords calling you, and I mean, it's like, and I don't, I think that some agents, it's a lot of operation, and that's one of the ways where they would, because I get that question at listing all the time. How much over asking and how many offers? This is completely irrelevant. I can price your piece for $1 and we get 100 offers. So that's not a good metrics, in my opinion.
yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. You want to be honest, and yeah, it's hard to know in this moving market when it's shifting again.
But I think in markets where comps are irrelevant,
Right.
it's hard. But one sentence that really annoys me is one agency, well, when I signed this 6 months ago, and it's like, okay, what if I were your client? I was like, well, 6 months ago, I mean, couldn't you be bothered to going by one big CMA from the MLS? I mean, how hard it is.
I know it's fun. I mean, we're very fortunate. We're here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, where this conversation probably around the country is irrelevant, right? Because they don't have multiple offers and they don't experience what we do. So we're very, very blessed. And I know that. So for those of you out there, if you want to come to San Francisco, come join us. It's a great market, but it's not everyone who has that experience. So I'm going to ask you, like, if you were to start over, or let's go with, the greatest mistakes that you think you made. Do you have any on the top of your head that you can share?
I think w- one of the things that hurt me the most as an agent is when past
I love this.
is when past clients betray you.
Oh,
When you work with people, you work so hard, you find them the great house, you negotiated the deal, the credit, the repair, like they're so happy they said all their fund, and then they go to resell their house. And that's one of the biggest learning experience. And they say, oh, can you stop over, cup of coffee, glass of wine? And you're like, of course you have. So you show up there prepared.
ah,
And then of course, they're expecting and no. And that's when you lose a listing because you actually have to re-interview with these people. And that's my advice to new agent. You have to re-interview, you're back to first day behavior. And never take it for granted. Never take it for granted. You have to show up with your CMA, you're re-interviewing. And actually the bar is even higher in their mind.
it's true.
And this is one where I think that I took it for granted because I had a relationship with a client. And no, someone, did like better dance.
They didn't, and the Dr. Pokey show I called it. They came in the show. Yeah, it's true. And you just take it for granted that they're going to list. Yeah, I've been there too. I understand. It's a really, really good point.
Because that hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. And as much as coming home and seeing the for sale sign on your neighbor's house, that's another bad one. But these things happen, because people had different relationships. That happens too. But I remember a quick story. One time, I was a top producer at the time back in the dark ages, and I actually, got very complacent. So it's the same thing. It's like complacency is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go in there with my best foot forward. I was prepared, but not my best foot forward. And at the end, I asked the seller why I didn't get the listing because, I always want to know that. I think a lot of top producers do that and want to know what you would do better. And I asked him, and he said, you all were great. He said, but I think they wanted it more than you did.
And that's the thing I always tell my team when they say no to you, most of the time it's not because they want to say no to you, it's because they say yes to something else.
Yeah.
And and not that we cannot, reflect and try to improve. But I think the also biggest mistake is working with people where you know in your gut it's a bad
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
And that it's like sometimes you're gonna be, it's gonna be a quick transaction, I can get it done fast. And the stress and the misery it will put you in is not worth it.
As know what can happen later with those kind of people. When you have to learn to listen to that intuition. We don't want to let go of it because it's a transaction and you think you can do it, and and that's what happens. I've been there too. I understand that one. So, for people who are starting out,
Okay.
what kind of advice would you give someone brand new?
I think the market has changed from it's different, a little bit of a different industry, because when I started, it was mostly solo agents, or you have agents who are on their way to retiring, would take a junior to kind of manage a transition. Whereas like now, it's really hard to, I think, get started on your own without being part of a team. It's much harder. So just surround yourself with the right people, and really figure out, like, I have this big theory of experience and expertise being two different things. A lot of agents have years of experience, but they do very few deals. So they haven't been exposed. So their expertise is actually quite low. So it doesn't matter if they've been in business 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If you only do 2 deals a year, I mean, you have no expertise. Your expertise is very low. Right. So I think that for new agents is like, joining a team or working with someone where you can really acquire that expertise just because you are part of deals in kind of like learning by osmosis. I think this can make a big difference.
Good advice.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. Thank you. That's very kind of you to even take the time to give us all of this information. So last question, we'll ramble up, but I think I could ask Bill 100 questions, but I'll leave here. What do you think 2026 has in store for you and us?
My business plan started, it used to be 2, 3, 4 pages long. Now it's usually a type.
Nice. So you do a business plan.
I do.
Does that mean
I think it's a mindset.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't go for the production. I don't have a big that it has to be that much per quarter and that many deals per month. And, so I don't have that sales approach. It's like I do what I enjoy. If I stop enjoying it half year, like, you stop doing it.
Yeah, and sorry. Well, when you have that many years experience, you already now you start to become osmosis. You just know what works, what doesn't work, and you're going to add in some more of this and take out some of that. So, what do you think 2026 has?
It's gonna be. I think we're gonna have a good year because we are using a lot of money in the Bay Area right now, and people are back in the office. People see the value of San Francisco. People need house. And what we've seen is that with the rental rates going up, well, buying if you have a down payment is actually a better proposition. So I think that we're going to see still a lot of scarcity of inventory. It's going to put pressure on prices. We've seen this year, like the buyers who are shopping the 2.5 to 3, this year they're shopping that 4 to 6.
No. Yeah, we just saw it out. You think it's the AI money, or
there is definitely, it has to do. Yeah, it has to do. We see it. Yeah,
it's there. It's real.
It's there. Will it disappear halfway through the year? No, I think we're not. I mean, I disagree with some of my colleagues who were like, "Oh, we have like 5, 7 years like that." I'm like, I don't know. I think that the cycle are a little shorter, a little choppier, but
yeah, I think you're right. I agree with that.
But we never know. I was thinking about it the other morning, and then had the Western balls. The ground started shaking, and there was an earthquake the other day. The ground started shaking, and in my head I thought, well, that would put a big
kibosh. Yeah, I try not to think about the earthquakes because it just put a kibosh. I wasn't here for '89. I don't think you were. And then but everything stopped. I've heard the stories, and what can you do? I mean, save your money for the rainy day.
Yeah.
There is some of that, right? Save some money for the rainy day. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know you're very busy, and I really appreciate it, Isabel. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Paula. Always a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you very much for doing this.